It's over. Do you understand? In that profession, once you ascend to where Conor has ascended to, he's probably worth a couple $100 million. Now, to set that aside, you know what? I'm going to get it out the mud. I'm in the trenches, and I'm going to go train, and I'm going to get kicked in the mouth. I'm going to get elbowed, knock my teeth out. Do you understand how hard that is?
There's no check for $250 million. So he kind of went right down the list of joking. He's kidding. You're not supposed to believe any of that to be true.
Conor McGregor has just sent a brutal warning to Logan Paul ahead of their fight. He will make $250 million for fighting Logan Paul, according to the Irishman himself. In December, McGregor disclosed that he had entered into early-stage negotiations for a potential boxing exhibition match against Paul set to take place in India. He added fuel to the fire last week by reacting to an article about his alleged $500 million fight deal with Paul at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium, posting an Indian flag alongside a heart emoji. According to Fightbook MMA, both fighters are set to pocket an extraordinary $250 million each as part of India's ambitious Visit India tourism initiative tied to a high-profile mega fight. McGregor now appears to have revealed the exact sum he'll earn for stepping into the ring against Paul the YouTuber. Turned WWE sensation, Conor McGregor tweeted on X, saying, "$250 million, I'm coming." The tweet was shared along with a picture of Paul dressed in WWE gear and an Indian flag since fracturing his leg against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264 in July 2021. McGregor, 36, has not participated in his main sport, mixed martial arts. He was scheduled to fight Michael Chandler in the main event of UFC 303 in June 2024, marking his eagerly awaited comeback. Their bout was called off after McGregor sustained a toe injury during a sparring session, and efforts to set a new date ultimately fell through in November. His path back to the octagon grew even more tangled when a high-court civil ruling in Dublin held him liable for misconduct. Nikita Hand emerged victorious in her legal battle against the ex-UFC 2 division champion, securing $248.6 and $3 in compensation. In one of the most significant crossover combat sports events, every McGregor has only engaged in combat once inside the squared circle. He squared off against the unbeaten legend Floyd Mayweather, who entered the ring with a flawless 49-0 record and left with an unblemished 50-0, the high stakes. Showdown promised a staggering $410 million prize to be evenly divided between the two fighters. McGregor made about $130 million, while Mayweather took home the most of the money at $280 million at the time. It marked the largest purse ever offered for a fight. However, if McGregor's claims hold any truth, a showdown with Paul could set an even higher record. Paul's boxing career has been far less eventful compared to his brother Jake Paul.
80% likely to happen. Now, Ben, there's a couple things that interest me. April and the UFC.
Yeah, I think the big conversation here was that Dana White and the brass would have to be involved for this to occur, much like they were with the Floyd Mayweather fight, which is kind of funny because Dana has stated several times, I believe, that he would never do this again. This co-promotion, this boxing, endeavor just was not worth it to him. But it seems like, yeah, they might be locked and loaded to do it again. And April 2025, that's a lot sooner than I think most people would have guessed. But, again, the rights are up for the UFC. We don't know
who stepped into the ring with Mike Tyson before a crowd of 300 spectators in Texas, and captivated 60 million viewers streaming on Netflix last November. The WWE superstar previously faced Mayweather in the ring, battling him for several rounds in June 2021. Though no official victor was declared, the 29-year-old squared off against his former rival, who is now his business partner, KSI, in two intense bouts between 2018 and 2019, an era that marked the dawn of the rapidly expanding YouTube boxing phenomenon. Paul's sole professional boxing match so far ended in a split decision loss following a 2-point deduction for hitting KSI while he was on the ground. Meanwhile, an industry insider in combat sports recently revealed that talks are underway for a boxing showdown between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul tentatively set for April 2025, with the UFC playing a key role in the negotiations, following a leg injury sustained during his July 2021 UFC 264 bout against Dustin "Pure" McGregor, has not yet returned to combat sports in the summer of 2024. McGregor's much-anticipated return seemed imminent when UFC officials revealed he would headline UFC 33 against Michael Chandler. Yet the Irish fighter withdrew from the highly anticipated showdown shortly after the announcement, citing a toe injury. McGregor's recent posts on X hinted that the Paul fight was nearing finalization. Yet many fans remained skeptical about the UFC's position on the match. In the latest episode of the Misfits News podcast, hosts Ben Davis and Beal tackled some pressing questions. Beal revealed that the UFC had played a role in the negotiations for the McGregor versus Paul matchup, adding that the authorities were eager to see it unfold by April of this year. Beal, referencing a reliable source, shared that deep negotiations were underway for the fight with both Conor and Logan. Expressing interest, he mentioned that they were aiming for April, adding that the UFC was also involved in the discussions and that everything seemed to be progressing in the right direction.
So Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor, but we're getting scammed since originally this fight was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. I don't know who got more scammed, the people that bought Crypto Zoo or Jake Paul. At least we know this fight will be a harder watch than Joe Biden going up the stairs. Regardless, I will still be watching this fight. Make sure to subscribe.
In addition to his impressive reported net worth surpassing $1 billion, Floyd Mayweather Jr. also holds the record for earning the highest sum from a single combat sports event. According to reports, Floyd Mayweather earned approximately $275 million from his 2017 showdown with Conor McGregor, setting the record for the highest earnings by a combat sports athlete for a single bout. A recent update on X from the Mac Life revealed that McGregor is poised to approach this amount with projections, suggesting he could rake in around $250 million for his upcoming fight with Logan Paul. They said Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are to feature as part of a historic Visit India tourism campaign as the pair clash in Mumbai's iconic One Stadium. The two will be well rewarded for their efforts, with McGregor set to walk away with $250 million, making the fight one of the most financially rewarding in history. Former UFC fighter Chase Sonnen unleashed a passionate tirade dismissing the likelihood of the fight ever happening.
What I really want is Conor.
The
I'll put
ideal
the nail
order,
in his casket.
Ideally, if you could have it your way, is it Nate, Tommy, Conor? Is KSI anywhere in that equation
Well,
anymore?
if KSI fights Tommy, he's gonna get knocked out.
Yep.
I guess it's all kind of in the air. Time will tell.
The MMA analyst was stunned that a single family would pour such a substantial sum into promoting their nation's tourism. On Saturday, the bad guy revisited the topic, asserting that the Ambani family had reached out to him, asking him to shift the story's narrative. Sonnen shared his thoughts on his YouTube channel, expressing that he remains puzzled by the rumored Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul fight. In his mind, the fight does not make any sense yet, that within itself doesn't disqualify it. He revisited a point he made earlier, where he questioned the logic of a family investing $500 million into a boxing match between two non-box for the purpose of boosting tourism in their country. Sonnen went on to discuss his discussion with the Ambani family, who validated his suspicions. These guys got a hold of me directly. When these folks got a hold of me, that was the first thing they let me know. No, you got that part of the story wrong, Cha. This is not about India. And this damn sure isn't about tourism. This is about this family. And they put the name out. It is about this family building and adding to its esteem and recognition, internationally, claiming that the fight was never about tourism,
but rather publicity for Umani to increase their global reach and influence by staging the event.
Conor McGregor came out and said that he had agreed to fight Logan Paul. What is the latest there? What is going on?
From what I understand, there was conversations about it a while ago. I don't know if Conor just woke up in like Ibiza or something like that and decided that he wanted to talk about it today. From the last thing I heard, there was no updates there, so I don't know if he's just out of his mind and just talking about it. But Logan just had a kid. He's locked in. He's a girl dad. And so, you know, unless there's something that I haven't heard, which is very possible, I don't know what the hell Conor's talking about. But I'll say this. no matter what. I think the boxing world loved to see it. I think we're talking about two very controversial personalities. One loved and hated, two countries, two different fighting disciplines. The world watches that fight. That's another Tyson, Jake Paul. I don't care what you say, people watch that fight. So I want to see it happen, for sure.
In recent years, the Umani family has strategically expanded its presence in various sports to bolster their global influence. Mukesh Ambani, chairman
of Reliance Industries, secured the top spot on Forbes' list of the world's wealthiest sports owners in 2023, with a staggering net worth of $83.4 billion. His sports portfolio includes the Mumbai Indians, a dominant team in the Indian Premier League, Mumbai City FC in the Indian Super League, and even a team in esports. Additionally, Neeta Amani, his wife, serves as a member of the International Olympic Committee and played a key role in establishing India House for the 2024 Paris Olympics, given their increasing presence in the sports world. It wouldn't be surprising if the billionaire family chose to sponsor the Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul fight, however. Sayan argues that this would be a foolish move and has once again strongly criticized the match. Interview 3. The bad guy argued that it would still defy logic to go into that direction. He firmly believes that anyone willing to invest such a significant sum in boxing should align themselves with legitimate fighters. According to Sonnen, with that level of financial backing, even a dream showdown like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford could become a reality. If you had the biggest check, you would be the one to get Canelo, and to get Bud Crawford, you'd be the one to do that. If you're doing it under boxing rules, he posited, the former UFC star called it a move so foolish that the only reason the media is covering it is that the move is so foolish, but you care about it enough that you contacted me, so I would correct the story in an angry tone. The American gangster appreciated being contacted in the first place and promised that the Amani family can count on me as somebody that will discuss the event. However, he made it evident that his outlook will always be against the fight and suggested that before it's too late, why don't you fire the terrible consultants that you've got if you want? To put on a boxing event, find yourself a couple of boxers. The buzz surrounding a potential Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul fight seems to be fading just as quickly as it emerged, while the general sentiment is that most fans, aside from those in India, aren't particularly excited about the matchup. The whole ordeal remains speculative with no official confirmation. Additionally, with McGregor still having 2 fights remaining on his UFC contract, Dana White may prevent him from stepping outside the organization. For now, all fans can do is wait for any formal news. A source identified as Ghazi Twice shared on X that a reliable tip indicates the UFC